Miss Sanzi, imagine a situation where your father tells you to call names of all your bad friends for him and promise not to expose them. Will you? Shouldn't common sense tell you he is deceiving you? That's exactly what happened at the ad hoc committee today. Evidence leader tricked Tebello Mosikili to confess and call the names of corrupt senior members of SAPS. Even the highly respected Lieutenant Mukwenazi has his own dirty secrets exposed. The battle now is who is more corrupt between Mchunu and Sibiya, but what she exposed about the two marvels all. Who and who she called and what they have done behind the scenes will surely rank top one most shocking story of the week. Watch yourself from the horse's mouth and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.
This ad hoc committee is investigating, amongst others, alleged corrupt behavior by members of the South African Police Services. You have been here for 36 years as a police officer. Do we have corrupt police officers in the South African Police Services?
Yes, Chair.
Do we have corrupt officers in the senior management of the SAPS?
Alleged, yes.
No, you must help us. We're not saying mention anybody by name. We're not saying give us details. Do not answer the question that I have not asked. We want to know here as Parliament, we must deal with the problem.
Okay.
In the many years that you have been in the SAPS or in the senior management of the SAPS, have you observed corrupt behavior in the senior leadership of the SAPS?
I have not seen, but I've heard of the allegations. Hence, I'm saying to you as
And
alleged.
how serious were those allegations?
Very serious, Chair.
Those allegations, as you heard them, do they have potential to erode the public confidence in the SAPS?
My personal belief is that they will if they are not attended to and addressed sufficiently. If
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
The little, even if you have had one or two, the little that you have had, let's say I'm an ordinary member of the public, I want to hear whether the SAPS is coming or going. So in your position, if you have had these allegations of corrupt behavior and you say they are so serious, I'm asking you, are they so serious to the extent that they can erode, like you say, if they are left unattended, if nothing was to be done? Are these allegations so serious that they can erode public confidence in the SAPS?
Yes, Chair. If they are not attended, yes, they will erode.
Initially, she was answering the questions so technically and intelligently, but when all the members of the committee started firing her, she fumbled. Truth slipped out of her unconsciously. Now, watch how she was finally tricked into saying the truth and calling the names of all corrupt senior members of the South African Police Service.
Good afternoon, Honorable Sauls.
General, as an official who was in a senior position in the police in Gauteng before, based on your experience, is there a drug cartel or drug cartels that has infiltrated Gauteng SAPS?
In my time in Gauteng, I have not experienced, and there were no presentations that were made to me as the deputy at the time of the provincial commissioner on the drug cartel. infiltration of the system we now know we had. But I want to say from time to time when there is a collusion and corruption incidents that were picked up will be investigated. I take Honorable Sauls, it's reflecting on this matter on what was presented. If it comes to the intelligence operative at that level, that is the person who's advising the operational arm of the service on the intelligence challenges that are prevailing in our ranks. And I take that requires to be investigated by the relevant authorities.
As a general now, you have sight and access to information with regard to safety across the nation. In your position now, is there drug cartels that has infiltrated SAPS?
Presentation was made here. It did not come, I think earlier, I did explain my role, which is in the file, that over and above overseeing, I also oversee the operations in the country. And before that happens, there is a committee on the phases of implementing any operation, either at NATJOINT's level or at National Crime Combating Forum level, where crime intelligence will come and do the presentation on the challenges. So far, sitting in those as the Deputy National Commissioner now for 3 years, there hasn't been a presentation directly to me or to the forum that talks to the cartel in Gauteng. But yes, that there are members of the police and other law enforcement agencies in Gauteng that are involved in criminal activities, including the reports that you will get from the community complaints. Yes, that was presented, that I know, and that is actioned as it is reported.
If I understand your response correctly, you are saying you cannot say that there are drug cartels that has infiltrated SAPS because you have not received such formal presentations. But what you can say is that you do know that some officials are involved with these syndicates. Is that what you are saying?
Now I know that there are officials that are involved, but I cannot with certainty say they are involved with drug cartel. I think for me is the issue of defining the cartel and knowing that there is an existence of cartel in the country and who are the members of this cartel and who are the members that are involved with the cartel. So it's from that premise that I'm saying I cannot with certainty sitting here today in front of South Africa and say, I do know that Mosikili X is involved with Mutaung, who is the drug cartel. I do not have that information.
Yes, that's not my expectation. My expectation is, as South Africa, we want to know, is it true that drug cartels has infiltrated SAPS?
I do not know.
All right. Based on your experience, health has infiltrated SAPS?
I do not know.
All right. Based on your experience with senior officials as well, is General Sibiya corrupt?
There must be facts that is correct, and there should be an investigation that will point to that corruption. So I will not again say General Sibiya is corrupt if I don't have facts.
Based on what you've heard
Based on what I've heard,
in the testimonies and the things that has come out, just like you've spoken now about, you are hearing about drug cartels now, and so based on that, you get that information. So based on Receiving information now, what is your position?
If investigated and proven, yes, that will be corruption.
But what should we as South Africans say? Should we also say all the allegations that are made, we must just wait before we determine whether or not?
Maybe I'm coming from the premise of having a small glimpse into the law. That law says he who alleges must prove. So if I allege that somebody is corrupt, I need to have the proof that is corrupt.
I agree. Is Minister,
The existence of a sophisticated criminal network allegedly infiltrating the SAPS, the NPA, and the State Security Agency.
No, it was never received by
So
Nigerians.
if no such intelligence was received, how do you explain what appears to be basically a complete intelligence failure at the highest level of national security coordination?
It may not amount to intelligence failure. And I will qualify because General Kumalo is part and parcel of the NICOC, and he has this information. It might have been discussed in the NICOC. NICOC is National Intelligence Coordination Committee of the infiltration within the ranks. But I think the infiltration needs to be qualified as well.
Yes.
That what I referred to earlier is the cartel, not necessarily on any other matter of infiltration or the involvement of collusion. I think even myself in some of the presentations that I would have made before the Portfolio Committee of Police, we did conceded that there is a problem of collusion, there is a problem of corruption. It is living with us. I cannot sit here and deny it knowing that it's happening. Yes. The only issue that I cannot confirm is on the drug cartel.
You see, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi described what he termed a functioning criminal network embedded within the state. Now, did Nat Jones ever discuss the rather extraordinary fact that he felt compelled to go public, flanked, of course, by armed special task force members, because he apparently had no confidence in the internal security channels under your coordination?
He never raised it with the Nat Jones per se, and prior to the July 6th, there has been a number of operations and task teams that were formed, including those that will be coming from the intelligence community itself and presenting to the Nat Jones and the structures on matters to be attended to. And I think the issues of criminal networks, in simplest terms, where you will have a form of collusion, it is a value chain in the criminal network where you will need to have somebody at the NPA to know that your matter will go, and you'll have somebody from the police that you know if the investigation is done and it's presented to NPA to prison. That is the network that I think General Mkhwanazi is referring to. Hence, I am confirming the issues of collusion, that when you have the chain, in the chain of a criminal justice, you will get away with some of the things. And I will sit here and confirm that that has been detected and that is happening. That is why I will talk on number of officials, both from Home Affairs that in the cluster itself, that were found to be on the other side of the law, members of the South African Police Service that were found to be on the other side of the law, and they are all have been investigated and sent to prison. The NPA, I think you know that there are senior, very senior, some acting NDPPs, DPPs that were found on the other side of the law, and they were dealt with accordingly. So actions were taken.
This is the point where Sibiya and all the lies he told at the ad hoc committee and Madlanga commission were exposed. Lieutenant Mosikili didn't expose him on purpose. It was a fatal mistake.
Thank you. When General Sibiya appeared before us, we asked him a question as to, I think I'm the one or one of my colleagues posed that question to him as to why did he not see it fit to talk to you when he receives the communication from the office of the National Commissioner. And I think we asked a question to him, why did he omit that, talking to you because you were acting at that time? And his explanation, as far as I can recall, was that, well, if correspondences are coming from the same office, I just made an assumption that these correspondences are occasioned or as a result of the directive of the National Commissioner and by extension, the acting National Commissioner. But in your opinion, because it sounded a bit strange to me that when the National Commissioner is away and somebody is acting, a major decision like this one can be conveyed to a Lieutenant General in a position of Sibiya, and he takes certain steps without any direct verification with an acting person at the time. I mean, I don't know how things work in the police, but where I am, it would be expected that either a phone call or whatever that says to a direct person who's in the office, I received this following information, and therefore I'm expected to act accordingly. What is your comment on that?
The reason why I also highlighted it in my statement is because for me, by far, the law will dictate that if a person is appointed in a position, in writing, he assumes the same responsibility as the incumbent in the post. Hence, when General Sibiya indicated to me that I have already called the National Commissioner, my surprise was, why do you call the National Commissioner when I'm here? But because there is nothing that will say, do not talk to the National Commissioner or do not talk to the person that is on leave. I mean, if the person picks up and responds to the call, you can't say, I did not call. So what he was indicating to me is that I have already called the National Commissioner and I've accepted what he has done, but I did indicate that I will give the directive. As you are entering my office, Brigadier Letuko is going out to give now a formal directive on how to deal with this particular issue at hand.
But what could be, I mean, have you had any, what do I call it? Have you had any major disagreements or, for the lack of a better word, fights with Lieutenant General Sibiya? I'm trying to understand why would, in a normal environment, he behaves like that? Because when we were asking him that question, some of us were led to believe that that conduct was occasioned by his intention to do certain things with a particular degree of speed so that some objectives are achieved, whatever objectives that he had set for himself. But in your own view, why would a colleague of yours suddenly behaves like that? Is there anything in your view that explains that conduct?
I will not know why he acted the manner in which he acted because, like I say, me and him are appointed Deputy National Commissioners, irrespective of the period, because he was appointed a year later and took some of the responsibilities that I was doing. But general expectation when there is a person in the position, you will first verify information. And that was my expectation, that why didn't you verify the expectation and this particular communique with me first, and you engage a person that is on leave? What will the National Commissioner do? Because even signing off, he will not sign off anything. He is on leave and there is a person appointed unless the minister recalls the national commissioner that I know you are on leave, but I am cancelling your leave, which often happens. Even myself, if I will be on leave or away, the national commissioner will say, I'm recalling you, and that will be in writing. So it is the unfortunate conduct that was undertaken at the time, but it is not a practice in the service that you will skip the level that is a leadership level and go to a person that is not there. It's as much as having a direct contact with the minister when the national commissioner is in the office. It's as simple as that. But it did not bother me much at the time, although it was a concern immediately as it happened. But in terms of the speed that he wanted to achieve the objective, we have 13 days to compile, or at least 10 days, because it is already on the 3rd, and we are having to produce a report on the 14th. So there was still an ample time for him to do that. Considering the fact that the minister's directive did not say come and present on the 7th. The directive said mid-January, and the final or the second bite of this presentation will be done towards the end of the month. So there wasn't any objective or any speed for me. It was just the unfortunate position that he took at the time to contact the National Commission.
On your statement on paragraph 30, I think